All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring one of the most profound guides ever written, the Bhagavad Gita. We're going to use its timeless wisdom to really tackle some of life's biggest questions, about our existence, our purpose, and ultimately, our destiny.
So let me start by asking you this. Out of all the millions of moments in your life, which single one truly defines where you go next? It's a huge question, right? Well, the Gita suggests the answer is the very last one. And understanding how to navigate that moment, well, that's everything.
And this idea brings us right onto a battlefield. You have the great warrior Arjuna. He's facing an absolutely impossible dilemma. And he turns to his guide, Lord Krishna, with a question that just cuts right to the heart of it all.
And this is it. This is the big one. This question is what drives our entire journey today. How, in that final, critical moment of life, can someone actually know and remember the divine? Krishna's answer is nothing short of a masterclass in human psychology and spiritual science.
But before he gives the direct answer, Krishna does something really important. He lays some groundwork. He explains that to understand who finds the divine, we first have to understand who's even looking for it in the first place.
So Krishna basically draws a line in the sand. On one side, you have people who don't surrender. The Gita describes them as foolish, deluded, their knowledge kind of clouded by illusion. But on the other side, you have the virtuous ones, the Sukritina. These are the souls who've done good things and are just naturally inclined to search for something more.
And even within that virtuous group, Krishna says, look, there are 4 different types of people who turn to me.
And what's so fascinating is the range of motivations here. First, there are the distressed, people who turn to God when they're suffering. Makes sense? Second, you have the curious, the people who just have to know the ultimate truth. Third are those who want wealth or need help with some material problem. And then finally, you have the wise. They don't worship to get something, they do it out of pure knowledge and love.
And this shows you Krishna's perspective so clearly. Now get this, he calls all 4 of them noble, but he singles out the wise person, the jnani, as the very best. Why? Because their devotion is totally unconditional. It's a two-way relationship built on pure understanding, and Krishna literally says, that person is very dear to me.
So that raises a pretty obvious question, right? If the path of wisdom is the best, why do so many people choose other, lesser paths? Well, Krishna explains it all comes down to what they want.
According to the text, the reason is simple, but it's also incredibly profound. It says their knowledge is effectively stolen by their own material desires. They want specific, finite things, health, power, money, so they turn to specific deities who can grant those temporary wishes. And the outcomes of these 2 paths, they couldn't be more different. It's night and day. Worship that's aimed at demigods gives you results that are, by their very nature, temporary and perishable. They exist in this material world, so they are bound to end. But worship of the Supreme Source, that leads to a destination that is eternal.
Krishna is super direct about this. He frames the choice not just by the result, but by intelligence. Chasing after temporary things is small thinking, because the reward is guaranteed to fade away. By contrast, his devotees are aiming for something permanent, a destination that is truly in a different league.
So, if it's all so clear, you have to wonder, why doesn't everyone just see it? Why isn't Krishna's supreme nature just obvious to everybody? The answer lies in this amazing concept called Yoga Maya. Now, this isn't just plain ignorance. It's described as the Lord's own internal, divine energy. It's like a curtain or a veil that hides his true eternal form from anyone who isn't ready or willing to see it.
And this just highlights the enormous gap in perception. On one hand, you have Krishna, who is omniscient. He knows every being across all of time. But from our side of that curtain, he says, no one truly knows me, at least not without a little bit of divine grace.
So what's the root cause of this whole delusion on our end? The Gita pins it on the basic dualities of our existence, desire and hatred. That constant push and pull of liking this, disliking that, wanting this, avoiding that. That's what keeps us bewildered and stops us from seeing the single unified reality behind it all.
So, after laying out the entire psychology of devotion and delusion, Krishna is finally ready. He's going to directly answer Arjuna's questions with a series of really powerful, cosmic definitions. Remember, Arjuna had a whole list of these big foundational terms he wanted explained.
What is Brahman, Adhyatma, Karma, Adibhuta, Adidaiva, and who or what is Adiagna? These questions are the bedrock of yogic philosophy, and Krishna's answers are incredibly precise.
First up, Brahman. Krishna defines it as the indestructible, transcendental living entity. The easy way to think of it is this: it's the eternal soul, that spark of consciousness inside each of us that's completely separate from our temporary material body.
Next is karma, and this is more than just action and reaction. Krishna defines it as the creative engine. It's the force of our actions that actually builds and develops our future physical bodies and our experiences.
Then we have Adbhuta. This is the stage where karma plays out. It's the entire physical world, everything we can see and touch, all of which is temporary and constantly changing.
And finally, the big one, Adiyaja, the Lord of Sacrifice. This is the crucial reveal. Krishna says, I myself am Adiyaja, right here within this body. He is the supersoul, the silent witness, and the ultimate recipient of all our actions, and he's dwelling inside every single living thing.
So let's just put all those pieces together. We have Brahman, the eternal soul, living within a Adibhuta, the temporary material world. And the soul's actions, its karma, create its reality. All while being overseen by Ajiyagya, the Supreme Lord who is right there inside of you.
And this leaves us with a final, really profound thought. If the ultimate enjoyer, the Lord of all sacrifice, resides within each of us, witnessing everything, then what does that mean for our most ordinary actions? In every single moment of our lives, what are we truly offering, and to whom?